I would like to start with intro. I think to present myself, my background. So first of all, thanks for joining this event. So it was idea to have like experts on one place and to talk about first of all about issues or questions that could be relevant for startup founders, for companies that interested in DeFi and banking. Um, so it's more like a vivid discussion, yeah, trying to cover in all aspects, yeah, of launching your fintech startup. And thanks for having together like today all our experts and having on this webinar our partner from Dana Research company. So my personal background is mostly dedicated to blockchains, as I'm going to cover topic about crypto banks. Till our M&A, I was leading a CEO company, Fire Labs. Now it's Fire Group Holding because we are doing and working both in blockchain and banking in traditional finance. Also, we are working mostly in Nordic regions as we have pretty close relationship and building, we call it FinTech Innovation Network in this region, having a lot, hosted a lot of events, interesting events in Sweden. And I could say that I'm like building this bridge between startups and VCs and companies that already they have already built some interesting products in this domain. So my topic will be dedicated to crypto banks. I want to highlight because this is very, I could say, vivid discussion right now because there are more and more crypto banks emerging in the market. And want to clarify what kind of crypto banks existing right now, what trends are right now we could forecast and or see right now in the markets, and some interesting statistics that probably will be relevant. First of all, I want to start about crypto banks. What's the definition and what is the difference between traditional banks, yeah, or digital banks, we call them. So the main difference, first of all, that the bank that can provide the same services like saving money, withdrawing money, sending to another users, also like hosting accounts for B2C, B2B users. Just the main difference that they can work with crypto assets, not only with fiat. And the main point here is that there are two types. Yeah, we could in general divide them into like the main blocks. First of all, it's like crypto bank purely that we call it as crypto bank or crypto friendly bank. And a lot of even banks that Andrei showed on his pitch, we could call them crypto friendly banks because it's like like traditional banks that just got crypto license and then they can help you to conduct crypto transactions. You know that even like Deutsche Bank and big banks that already applied or already got license, they can also work now with crypto. So, and we can call them crypto friendly bank. Purely crypto bank, what's the main difference is like just they purely working with crypto assets. And there are a lot of such examples. Normally it's we could say exchanges that purely working with cryptos, or it's like purely we could say DeFi project that working mostly on smart contracts without fiat part. And in general, we can divide them, I think, in 5 groups. Let's focus on each of them. It's like traditional banks that I mentioned that got like crypto license. Deutsche Bank, for instance, this year they applied for crypto license. It means that even such big players, they are considering crypto acquiring. And I think next year the same will happening. So we will see more and more traditional banks that will apply for like for crypto processing. The same with BVA Bank. crypto native bank. Yeah, it's like banks that also they have crypto license, but Kraken and some like here samples for this Kraken is like in general it's like crypto exchange. Yeah, they have around 13% of turnover, yeah, in the world of I mean crypto, yeah, exchange turnover. But already, yeah, you have option then to exchange your crypto and guess is how it in fiat format. Also, there are like crypto banks with crypto license. Um, we can also divide some crypto platform like Gemini, but in general, Gemini, we could also call it as exchange. Yeah, you know, it's like a US based, yeah, company founded in 2014. Yeah, but they also providing right now like banking, let's say, services. And tendency will be that big crypto exchanges, yeah, like in general, they will become like in general crypto banks. So they will provide all like services like in general a bank that can hold like your crypto and fiat, yeah, assets. Um, so regarding the also the last yeah group, it's like in general we can call them super apps. Yeah, with in general providing huge amount of like services. And now it's getting very popular. Nexo Bank, let's call them, pretty big bank. They providing both services for B2B, B2C users, and in general, it's not only like exchange services, yeah, crypto fiat, but also a lot of additional services like staking services, a lot of services related to businesses, yeah, and we can call them like super apps, yeah, because they're huge amount of functionality that they're providing, and covering not only like B2C users but also B2B. In general, if you want to operate as crypto bank, yeah, again, you also need to think about license, crypto license. And I would recommend you strongly to go through our report. So we've done a very huge, I think, like research together with our partners, done research company about region and specifically each country in this region, how to apply and what institutional, yeah, entity responsible for providing you the specific license and what kind of license do you need and how it's called, yeah, to from legal perspective to operate in your country, yeah, and work with cryptos. um, I don't want to focus on this in detailed way, but because a lot of countries that we like we provided in this report, so you could go through it, and I would strongly recommend you to do it. Yeah, and also want to here is like you could see like crypto banking landscape, what kind of banks right now in general divided, yeah, into crypto native banks, in crypto or like banks that already have crypto license, but want to show you, first of all, you see that traditional banks right now here are provided that already got crypto license, like BBVA, yeah, like Deutsche Bank that I mentioned, and also ING Bank, and more banks we will see next year, because this year a lot of big names already applied for crypto license. So it means that they will be doing crypto acquiring for the users. Such banks, like if you've seen reports from Revolut and 26, is pretty popular here in Europe right now. They are earning money mostly on crypto acquiring, not as traditional banks right now. And definitely other like you could say competitors, yeah, see this and more and more, yeah, think about providing also additional crypto acquiring services. And by the way, it's not only like exchange services. It's also related to staking services and a lot of additional, yeah, services. Yeah, and a lot of super apps we can call Coinbases, like super app providing huge amount of right now services. And as mentioned, so we can call traditional like exchanges now as crypto banks because in general they provide huge amount of services and they could work now with fiat and with crypto, provide exchange services, provide you physical digital card that you can use and pay in fiat in different countries. Want to focus first of all on crypto bank core. What is like in general, what is crypto bank and how to build it? Why specifically focus on this part of like from our group? Because yeah, like to launch like exchange or super app, it's very like complicated. But let's start from something more obvious and what kind of like requests from startups we do have. In most cases, it's like just to launch the core of crypto bank and then on top of it to add more and more services, because such services, such kind of projects, they are they could be launched like step by step because it's ecosystem that you are developing. In general, it's like authentication part. Yeah, it's when you using some kind of KYC process in an integration with third party providers, general like management of profile of user. Very important part is in general it's wallet core that can work with fiat part, and part that can work with in general, yeah, that you could use your like account to send fiat money to another users, and MPC, this is part that's responsible for key management system, especially for crypto part. And I want to focus on this model a little bit and closely explain about this model because it's very important how to implement, yeah, in general, then third-party integrations, because if you have in general your wallet, yeah, you need to have also like provider for like or payment gateway who will be first of all covering, yeah, all fiat transactions and any kinds of integrations with such kind of providers you need. You also need integrations with exchanges, which will be providing liquidity. It could be both like DEX or DEX exchanges. Also focus on it, why some companies choosing DEX and DEX. And in general, like back office. It's like, I could say, at least MVP of crypto bank that you need to consider, yeah, to launch the market and in general test your idea. Regarding the private key management system, it's very important that there are like two ways on implementing this part. One way is like, let's say you're writing your own like custom MPC system from scratch. It means that you write all on your own backend pool systems that will manage the private like general keys of users on your end. In such way, you're taking huge risks, yeah, because you need to assure high security for your users, yeah, and I would say that just big companies can afford to do it, yeah, instead of using third-party companies. But let's say third-party companies, what I mean, it's like company that providing custodial wallet solutions like Fireblocks, Web3 or Hexrat. There are a lot of them. But for example, Nexo Bank that I provided sample, it's pretty big bank, well adopted. A lot of like I think a lot of people already heard about this bank. They using Fireblocks for as custodial provider. And when we're talking with a lot of like startups, they just afraid to use like third-party providers. But we explain that in such way, they provide guarantee of security for you. And big names, big companies, they're working with such leaders as Fireblocks. And not only Nexo Bank, you will be surprised that a lot of samples that we like in our report and in my presentation provided, they're also using such kind of providers. Normally they are taking like setup fee for startups. If you're like founder of startup that you want to launch your crypto bank, coming to them they charge you a setup fee. It depends from like 10K to 25K. And also charging then depends on number of users and number of API calls that are going to happen. So it's like fluctuate, I could say billing, but again, it's faster, more secure. You don't have full this headache about security on your end. And it's not bad at all solution, yeah, to consider. Um, Regarding building your own MPC system, it's your choice. Yeah, we also explain about all risks potentially. Yeah, you're not paying then to third party provider any kind of setup fee, any fee for API call. How to implement it? By the way, it could be done even based on some low code. For instance, we also have low code system that and it could be used potentially to build your MPC system. So it's like more here like a decision based on your tech team. But as mentioned, so big banks a lot using like third party providers. So this is the same, yeah, just explain that in general, like two ways. Yeah, you are using like third party provider for MPC system, or you're building own one that will assure the key management system. By the way, I also recommend to consider Finrux company. For instance, they providing full system responsible for custodial part. So they already integrated with Fireblocks and also exchange part. So they already integrated with a lot of exchanges, and all this, like I say, model could be integrated to traditional, let's say, wallets, fiat wallets, and they will cover all this like functionality. Also, want to focus on trends and very interesting trends. And I would recommend you strongly, probably after our webinar, I will send you some links to read about MPC wallets because it's emerging trend right now in crypto banks. Right now for providing like the highest level of security, because if we talk about crypto bank, it's more about security. Banks tend to use such, we call it MPC custodial like wallet solution. For instance, Fireblocks company also providing this option for the users. What does it mean and what is the main difference? Probably you also heard about machine Enigma, yeah, that were commonly used by Germans in within the Second World War. The same, it's also like method of encryption that used, let's say, and or for instance, only intended receiver will understand the message that was sent to him, and the same principle is like basement for encryption that is used for MPC wallets. And commonly right now it's getting more and more popular because such kind of encryption and in general this method of cryptography could provide high level of security for the users. We're going to use this kind of wallet. And for instance, Fireblocks also providing it. We just want to mention and other like other custodial providers more and more talking about it, and some like big names already, having such kind of option on their websites. I will send some links after our like webinar. You will be able to read about it, but it's the main, I could say, trends that we need to consider this year. Also, like crypto bank market is increasing significantly, and expectation that it will be 2.5 billion by 2029. It's significant boost. And you see that even traditional banks are considering to getting like crypto license for crypto acquiring services. So it means that even traditional banks, they're interested. Interesting point that North America, Asia, so these regions are going to be well adopted. US right now is leader, yeah, because such big companies like Coinbase and Gemini and other Kraken, such companies, they are established, yeah, in the US, but projection that such kind of regions will be leaders next 5 years. And also interesting point that crypto banks well adopted in developing countries. Yeah. Regulation definitely is the main point. In more and more countries, they are adopting legislation and going to regulate this market. Traditional banks commonly use and right now services like that could assure the that, let's say, this crypto transaction is not risky. Yeah, it's like services for knowing your transaction that could provide instant reports for the banks. And the demand for such kinds of services also increasing based on latest reports from traditional banks. Normally they're using kind of third-party providers. So this tendency is going, to be in next years. And you see that crypto banks work in tandem with traditional banks. It's also going to happen, and also very important that going to come up new security standards. It's like the same standards that we know CIDSS compliance, yeah, in traditional fintech. The same standards are going to adopted in terms of security in DeFi space. Also, it's CDBC. Yeah, we heard about it a lot, and for instance, even we work right now with leading like protocol on CDBC in Europe right now. You see that more and more national banks, they are interested in CDBC adoption because it could help to cope with corruption and a lot of and make some dedicated payments to businesses. So huge amount of use cases could be, and like based on statistics, number of CDBC is increasing significantly more. Like overall, right now, 200 already launched different kind of central digital currencies. And it's very important that also usability of such kind of crypto banks are getting improved. You see that in general in DeFi space, and there were a lot of stuff related to in general in DeFi and blockchain-based projects to usability. But now it's getting improved, and some more and more crypto banks, they are focusing on usability, on UX UI of their like products, and it looks much more better than it was like even a couple years ago. And also DeFi integration is mentioned that it's also inevitable part. So I would strongly recommend you also to look through our crypto bank report that we've done within all existing traditional banks and crypto banks, divided them in different categories, provided some infographics, pretty useful. Would strongly recommend you to download it, to look through it. Very useful. You will see significant increase here of even new services that existing crypto banks providing right now. How quickly they adding new services like exchanges, like staking services. So I think it will be pretty useful as both for product owners, founders, and definitely you could connect with me on LinkedIn if you're interested to talk more about general crypto banks or in general blockchain technology. Happy to connect and share our experience with you. So thank you, and want to pass my word to Jochen.